What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. I'm back here with another video today. Going to be doing something a little different. You know, the year 2022 is starting to wind down. I mean, I'm not necessarily done fishing for the year. I'm probably going to go a few more times, but you know, the opportunities are going to be limited from now on. So I want to do a video and talk about my top 5 lures for this year. Just the 5 lures I picked out that have done the best for me in various ways, and sort of the qualifications that I'm thinking of here are: 1, the enjoyment of fishing the lure. 2 is going to be, you know, the catches themselves. You know, what catches was I able to make with this lure. We're talking about quantity, we're talking about quality, and different species as well. You know, I am a multi-species type of angler, so that's probably one of the higher, you know, that probably counts for a lot more than some of the other you know, considerations that I just mentioned there. Get started here at number 5. I'm going to be picking up one of the most basic lures in largemouth bass fishing. This is a stick worm or stick bait. More specifically, this is the Yum Dinger. This is an inexpensive option in this style of bait. This is a 5-inch size. This color is called Junebug. And you guys have seen me, you know, in one of my earlier videos in the spring. You know, we were able to go out, and it was just on a day where, you know, we tried some of our moving baits. You know, that's kind of how I like to fish the most, right? Is fishing, you know, faster, you know, crankbaits or spinners or some kind of lure where you're casting and retrieving a lot, and it just wasn't happening. And I find, you know, that day this lure really came in handy here. You know, I have it rigged on a 3/0 extra wide gap hook. You know, some people like to wacky rig these, which is where you kind of put a hook through the middle. But you know, when you're fishing from the bank like I am, this extra wide gap method is preferable to me because you reduce your chance of getting snagged. And if I'm going to go slow and low like that, you know, working a lure that kind of sinks down to the bottom, I want to have some snag resistance, since it's going to be harder to get a lure back or a bait back from the bank. And you know, there's been a few other times this year where, you know, a similar thing has happened where I've tried several different techniques, nothing seems to be happening, but I tie this on and think, you know, what the heck, I'm going to just slow down. You know, you just kind of cast this thing out, let it sink, you know, lift it gently off the bottom, you know, and let it sink back down, and rinse and repeat a few times. And that's the basic retrieve with this thing. And it has come in handy to catch a few bass when nothing else seems to be working. What keeps this lure from being higher on the list for me is the fun factor. You know, this is, like I said before, I like those faster moving lures the most. And this is the lure where you really have to slow down, be patient, be methodical. And sometimes that's what you need to do, but I like to be able to cover water with some faster moving lures, provoke those more aggressive fish. But this is a great bait if you're a beginner, especially if you want to catch largemouth bass. So 5-inch stick worm, Yum Dinger, Junebug. Moving on from that category, I'm going to be talking about, you know, in the number 4 slot is going to be some kind of smaller sized crankbait, shallow diving crankbait. There's several that I've done well with this year, and I feel like this has been a good year for me in terms of using crankbaits and learning how they work a bit better and getting a bit more confident in them. So an example here is this Strike King KVD 1.0 in the Sexy Shad pattern. Caught several different species on this. Good lure for sort of bouncing around the rocks, imitating a shad. And we also have the Rebel Crawfish. This is also, you know, the main day I can think of is, you know, when me and my dad did that smallmouth trip. This lure caught a ton of smallmouth bass. Great. Staying deep. Ooh, oh, good smallmouth. Jeez. Man. It's pretty. Guys, we just landed a beautiful smallmouth bass on the Rebel Crawl. That's one of my biggest ones ever, for sure. Probably about a pound, maybe 13, 14 inches. That was on that Rebel Crawl crankbait. Great lure for rivers and creeks where you're targeting panfish or smallmouth. But I mean, largemouth will definitely hit it too. And this final one here that I've been throwing some on the ultralight is the Rebel Crickhopper. Have you seen me throw this in creeks in a couple of videos this year, and it catches lots of little panfish, bass, pickerel, a lot of different species. You know, that's a factor here when I'm thinking about these lures. You know, this catches a good number of different species, and that really kind of ranks this above the stickbait in particular. You know, you're getting more species, and I think they're a little more fun to fish as well. So the next lure on the list is kind of a similar style to these crankbaits, but not, it was different enough that I wanted to single it out here, and that is going to be this Mann's Baby 1 Minus. This is a ultra shallow diving. You could call it a crankbait or a wake bait, and you can kind of retrieve it two different ways. You know, if you go fast, it dives down about a foot and has a hard wobble. You can hear that rattle in there. Creates a lot of commotion. Good for shallow vegetation. And you know, we just had a great day on this in the fall, and we also caught our biggest, what may be our biggest bass ever on this lure as well. There we go. From underneath the dock, I think. Came up and slurped it. It's a good fish. It's a good fish. Pull and drag. This is gonna be the biggest of the day, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Whoa. Yeah, it's a good one. Whoa. Oh my gosh. It's a good fish. Stay hooked, buddy. Oh yeah, that's a tank. Oh. Here in the fall, so you know, we had a great day with this thing, and yeah, it's just, it's a little more versatile than a crankbait in a way, because you can do that slow retrieve and get it to just wiggle right under the surface, and it's almost like, you know, if the fish aren't quite hitting a top water, this can be kind of an alternative. So but yeah, the main reason was because we were able to catch that big fish, and that was after, you know, a good day of catching largemouth bass with this wake bait. So this is the Mann's Baby 1 Minus. This color is I think it's called Firetiger. I really like that color in a lot of the ponds around me. You know, that green and yellow and orange. That tends to imitate like a perch or like a bluegill in murky water. So yeah, place number 3 here, the Mann's Baby 1 Minus crankbait, 3/8 of an ounce, I'm pretty sure. Gonna be throwing that a little more next year, I think. In second place here, and this was kind of a hard choice between this one and the first one, because this is probably the most fun lure that I've had. You've probably been seeing them here right in front of me already, and if you watch some of the videos on the channel, you know exactly why this lure is gonna, you know, rank in the top 5. This is the Heddon Crazy Crawler topwater lure. Hard topwater lure. You know, this is an old-fashioned style of crawling type topwater, and you know, we went down to that one pond, and on multiple occasions, we just had a lot of fun getting topwater blow-ups, cast after cast after cast on this thing. Oh, there's a fish looking at your Skinzer. Oh, come here, buddy. I know you want it. Come on, I see you. I see you under it. Get it. Get it. Yes. Oh my God. It seems like a good lure for imitating insects on the surface. You know, that seemed to be what the bass at that lake were keyed in on, and they were just smashing it. And yeah, topwater, if I can get on a topwater bite, that's definitely the most exciting way to catch fish, to catch bass, or anything else really, in my opinion here. So this is sort of the smaller, I think this is the tiny crazy crawlers. This is this one here. This is a 1/4 ounce. I think this color is called White Hornet, and did quite well with that. And then this is the full-size version here in the bullfrog color. Caught several nice bass on both of those this year. Definitely give this a shot. I like kind of getting those older lures out that a lot of people don't throw anymore, and getting some fish on them. Sometimes, you know, the fish don't see these kind of older lures, and you can catch a few that are used to seeing, you know, your whopper ploppers and stuff like that. And in first place here is going to be a lure that it was really one of the first lures that I built confidence in when I started fishing more intensely several years back. And that's going to be the inline spinner. You've seen me use several different ones over the course of the year here. This is an old rooster tail in Firetiger. You know, that brass blade kind of lost some of the shine on this one, but I think it would still work. Yeah, and like I said, I like that Firetiger color. And yeah, if I'm going to go to the store and buy a spinner, I will usually go with a rooster tail. Quite a reliable lure for multiple species. Some other examples here. You know, I've got another smaller rooster tail in kind of a silver baitfish pattern. I do fish these inline spinners in a variety of different sizes, probably more than any other lure. And then, you know, I make some inline spinners as well here. Here's one kind of a longer design, extended spinning shaft here. Oh, dude. Stay hooked, please, dude. Oh my gosh.
First cast?
First freaking, or that was like a second cast. Oh my gosh, he's strong. It's a trout. Please don't get unhooked. Whoa, dude.
Ooh, the big boy.
Golly, it's strong.
Look at keeper.
If you can tire out.
That's too damn big.
Dude, that was crazy. Right there. Oh, you okay? I think gold blades might be the way to go.
Yeah. Wow.
I have some more gold spinners. Cloudy day, usually gold is better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's still fighting. Gotta be easy with them on this little rod though. Come on, dude.
And you can break the rod.
Well, they can break the line. It's only a 4-pound line, so. Beautiful fish.
Wow.
Let's go. Dude. Beautiful trout. Indiana blade with the eye spot on the blade. And then here's another one that is more of a standard style, also with the Indiana blade. And the main factor with this lure was just the reliability that I had with it this year. You know, I tied it on multiple occasions in multiple environments and caught fish. You know, it's a lure that it produces a lot of action, but it's in a small package, and I think that really can be important to have that sort of compact look in these lures. You know, all that vibration, that flash, but it's small and unobtrusive. And it's caught so many different species this year. I've caught bluegill, red ear sunfish, bull chub, just to name a few, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, and I even caught a butterfly peacock cichlid in Florida on an inline spinner that I built, as well as a 3 pounds or so bullseye snakehead down there. So that's kind of the thing I love about that lure the most. You don't really know what you're gonna bite, what's gonna bite it. Also caught a channel catfish on one. So really any kind of predatory fish could potentially hit them. And it's just one of those trusty lures that you can get out there when you're not sure what to throw and you have a decent chance of getting a bite. You know, you just do a slow retrieve and you let it sink to the depth that you want and wind it back steady. You know, as long as you can feel that blade turning, that pull of the blade against you as you're retrieving, then the lure is going to work. So you want to get it kind of as slow as you can where you can still feel it retrieving. And yeah, you know, it catches a lot of small fish, but you can catch some pretty darn big fish on it too. Like I said, that snakehead, that was one of the best fights I had all year. And you know, the lure that it bit got destroyed. I don't even I don't know if I can actually use it anymore. Bent the wire all to pieces, but it can catch big fish, it can catch small fish, and it can catch a variety of fish. So that's why the inline spinner is going to be a staple in my box until I quit fishing, basically. And I'm going to keep throwing it when I need something reliable to fall back on. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little review of some of the different lures that I used this year, what I thought really worked, you know, as a bank angler for me in the different environments that I fish in, you know, the lakes, the reservoirs, the canals, the creeks, the river wading, all those different environments that I like to fish in. So hopefully, you know, this can maybe, if you're, you know, the style of fishing that you do is similar to me and you're just trying to, you know, you aren't super specific about targeting, you know, a certain species like bass, you just kind of are out there throwing lures for whatever will bite. These types of lures can really, I think, help you out, help you get on a few fish with a little practice, you know, building some confidence, getting out there. That's really the most important thing, is just to keep fishing, and eventually you'll start to kind of connect with certain lures and find out what works for you. But these are definitely some lures that I recommend. You know, as a recap, the Yum Dinger 5-inch Junebug, small crankbaits, you know, small square bills, small Rebel creature crankbaits like the Rebel Crawl and the Crickhopper, the Mann's Baby 1 Minus ultra shallow wake bait or crankbait. I really would call it a wake bait because it is different enough to me in that Firetiger color, the Headin' Crazy Crawler, and then the inline spinner. So hope you learned something from this video. Maybe this can help you make some decisions on what to start throwing in the new year. So take it easy, and thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may as well go ahead and do it, because I'm going to keep uploading these videos on a weekly basis. You know, if you're fishing from the bank, want to learn a few things, maybe even be entertained along the way, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Take it easy.